patuloy na nagbibigay serbisyo. Pag-asa at saya. GMA Regional TV. Kapuso ng bawat Pilipino. This is GMA Regional TV Weekend News.
Good evening. This is your GMA Regional TV Weekend News. The biggest, the latest as local news matters. Attorney Sedfrey Cabaluna.
Caitlin Revilla, broadcasting from GMA Complex in Iloilo City.
We'd like to welcome our Kapuso viewers from Luzon, Visayas, and Mindanao,
as well as our kababayans in different parts of the world.
This evening, we will be joined by Russell Simorio from Balitang Amyanan, Adrian Prietos from One Western Visayas, and Argil Relator of One Mindanao. Good evening to our gentlemen correspondents from the different regions.
And we also have other counterparts from the other regions. Joining us tonight, Rain Palino of GMA Regional TV Bicol, Alan Domingo of Balitang Bisdak, and Daryl Marie Sarmiento of One Western Visayas.
The coronavirus disease 2019 has infected more than 13 million people worldwide. The death toll increased to more than 500,000. In the Philippines, confirmed cases exceed 60,000. The country is now second to Indonesia with the most number of cases in Southeast Asia. Daryl Marie Sarmiento of GMA Regional TV 1 Western Visayas has the details live. Daryl?
Said at the time being, Philippines is said to have the longest quarantine period, but despite all of this, COVID-19 cases still continue to rise. As reported by the World Health Organization, there are now over 13 million COVID-19 confirmed cases around the globe, with more than 500,000 deaths. Southeast Asian countries recorded more than 1.3 million confirmed cases. Indonesia remains to be the country in the region with the most number of cases. The number of cases in the Philippines, which is second to Indonesia in the region, continue to increase. As of the latest update from the Department of Health, the number of COVID-19 cases increased to 65,304. 22,067 have recovered, while 1,773 died. In North Central Luzon, there are 1,819 COVID-19 confirmed cases, with 102 deaths and 966 recoveries. According to the latest report from the DOH Center for Health Development, Region 1 has 193 confirmed cases. Region 3 or Central Luzon has 1,481 COVID-19 cases, while the Cordillera region has 145 confirmed cases. In the Bicol region, the number of confirmed COVID-19 cases is at 258, with 8 deaths and 112 recoveries. 95 of them are from Albay, 101 in Camarines Sur, 8 in Camarines Norte, 12 in Sorsogon, 13 in Catanduanes, and 29 in Masbate. In Region 7 or Central Visayas, COVID-19 cases increased to 13,172, with 6,625 active cases and 5,897 recoveries. The region also posted 650 deaths. In Cebu Province, from 2,355 confirmed cases, 1,627 are active cases, with 233 deaths. In Negros Oriental, 68 were infected, 2 have died. 67 cases were recorded in Bohol, 1 have died. Siquijor remains COVID-free. Among the COVID cases in Central Visayas, Cebu City tops the list with 7,910 cases, 3,166 of which are active. 408 deaths were recorded. Mandaue City has 1,393 confirmed cases with 51 deaths. A total of 1,379 confirmed cases were recorded in Lapu-Lapu City. 56 have died. In Eastern Visayas, 688 COVID-19 cases were recorded. 631 have recovered and 3 have died. Leyte has the most number of cases in Region 8 with 275. Southern Leyte has 90. Biliran with 26. Samar has 125. Northern Samar with 25. And 3 positive cases in Eastern Samar. Tacloban City has 59 confirmed cases, while Ormoc City now has 64 cases. COVID-19 cases in Western Visayas increased to 737 with 379 recoveries. The death toll increased to 12 following the death of an 80-year-old patient from Iloilo City. Aklan has 6 confirmed cases, 15 in Antique, 6 in Capiz, 66 in Iloilo Province, while cases in Negros Occidental increased to 26. Guimaras is still COVID-free. OFW repatriates and locally stranded individuals record the most number of cases with 550. Meanwhile, Bacolod City recorded 19 confirmed cases, while Iloilo City has 49. In Mindanao, a total of 2,523 confirmed COVID-19 cases were reported. The death toll is now at 73, while 1,131 have recovered. COVID-19 cases in Davao City is also rising, which is now at 650. The city remains to be the COVID-19 hotspot in Davao region, which has recorded a total of 912 confirmed cases, 42 deaths, and 496 recoveries. Meanwhile, in Zamboanga City, a 27-year-old woman who is also 8 months pregnant and a returning overseas Filipino from Dubai tested positive for COVID-19. Zamboanga Peninsula has recorded 471 confirmed COVID-19 cases in the region. The death toll is at 12 with 199 recoveries. In northern Mindanao, a locally stranded individual from Opol, Misamis Oriental was declared dead on arrival at the hospital just hours after arriving at Laguindingan Airport. A swab test after his death revealed that he was positive for COVID-19. Confirmed COVID-19 cases in northern Mindanao rose to 391. The number of deaths is at 11 and 130 have already recovered. In Suksargen, a 2-year-old girl from Malungon, Sarangani province has tested positive for COVID-19. The region has reported 147 confirmed cases, 2 deaths, and 65 recoveries. More locally stranded individuals and returning overseas Filipinos have tested positive for COVID-19 in Caraga. The region's cases increased to 215 with 121 recoveries. And in BARMM, a total of 387 cases were recorded. 6 have died, while 120 have already recovered.
Said in some parts of the country, quarantine facilities reach their warning zone level. Hence, authorities continuously remind the public to follow health protocols and to stay at home. Said.
Thank you, Daryl Marie Sarmiento of GMA Regional TV, 1 Western Visayas.
Cebu City, the lone city in the country under MECQ, will not appeal the latest IATF classification of the city, while other metro cities in Cebu have been placed under general community quarantine. Alan Domingo of GMA Regional TV Balitang Bisdak for the details. Live, Alan.
Yes, Caitlin, Cebu Province has now been downgraded to MGCQ medium risk, except Talisay City and the town of Consolacion, which will remain under GCQ.
Cebu City, which has been on ECQ for the longest period, has been reclassified to MSCQ. Cebu City Mayor Edgardo Lebella was hoping for a GCQ status but respects the IATF pronouncement. While on MSCQ, Lebella says that the city will focus on increasing the recovery rate of COVID-19 patients. Cebu Archbishop Jose Palma said the IATF has its own basis in coming with its recommendation, but notes that there is an increasing number of people desperate for assistance.
They also find a way, to survive. Pero I know that life is becoming more difficult. So to an extent lang, we experience the generous people who are willing to give.
Talisay City Mayor Samsam Gulyas acknowledges the IEDF's decision to keep the city under the GCQ. Both Golias and Lapu-Lapu City Mayor Junard Ahong Chan are satisfied that their respective cities will remain under GCQ due to the increasing number of COVID-19 cases over the past weeks.
I've always said from the start, kung unsay decision sa IATF, maong ginatong sundon. So, as far as hangyo, as far as anything, wala. I waited for the decision, and once the decision is there, we will follow.
In Lapu-Lapu City, COVID-19 survivors were among those who joined the recent blood donation drive in the city. One of them is the head of the Lapu-Lapu's traffic police.
Naamang good tayo mga kaigsuunan po ba nga nanginahanglan yun og dugo. Labi na katong mga dugo sa mga naka-recover gikan sa COVID positive. So hopefully nga akong na-donate nga dugo makatabang po nila.
In Mandawi City, a new molecular laboratory was inaugurated last Thursday. The facility run by the Philippine Red Cross will help increase the testing capacity of Cebu and the war against COVID-19. PRC assured that the laboratory is in line with approved standards.
If Leyte needs to do that, we can take the samples in Leyte and in Samar. By the way, we'll also be doing in Albay and in Quezon para kung Samar, makukuha ng Albay yun. Itong Leyte, makukuha na din.
In Central Visayas, the other areas under MGCQ medium risk are the provinces of Bohol and Negros Oriental. The province of Siquijor, which remains COVID-19 free, is under MGCQ low risk category.
Caitlin, Cebu City's classification is downgraded 16,000. Outbound, locally stranded individuals are awaiting for words as to when they can finally return to their respective provinces. Caitlin.
Thank you, Alan Domingo of GMA Regional TV, Balitang Bisdak.
Teachers in Panabo City, Davao del Norte, and Opol, Misamis Oriental are not letting the COVID-19 pandemic get in the way of their students' learning. John D. Esteban of GMA Regional TV 1 Mindanao tells us their story.
Amid this unprecedented pandemic, resourceful teachers are coming up with ways to ensure that their students continue their education during quarantine. In Panabo City in Davao del Norte, teachers of Salvacion Elementary School ride their bicycles to deliver reading materials to their students' homes. Dubbed Basacleta, a combination of the words basa or reading and bicicleta or bicycle. This project aims to teach children how to read despite the pandemic.
Education must continue po despite sa pandemya nga atong giagian karon. I know na nata sa gadget-driven society karon o kami nga mga magtutudlo naningkamot og maayo, kami sa DepEd naningkamot nga ma-divert ang mga bata nato instead na magsigigdula og cellphone o mga mobile legend na mga dula, kini among pamaagi gihimo na mo ni siya sa gamayng pamaagi nga matabangan sila na mabalik ang ilang gugma sa pagbasa.
While delivering the materials, the teachers make sure they follow COVID-19 health protocols by using face mask or face shields and observing social distancing.
Ug dako po na mo kalipay kay siyempre nakatabang mi sa ilahang mga estudyante diri sa Salvacion Elementary School ug wala na sayang amo ang effort as mga volunteer teacher.
DepEd Panabo commends the initiative of the school because it helps in eradicating illiteracy in the city, especially in reading. Panabo City's elementary level records 288 non-readers in English and 151 in Filipino. The Panabo City LGU has offered free champurrado for the students and also provided 1 million pesos worth of reading materials to DepEd Panabo for the program. Meanwhile, in Barangay Malanang, Opol, Misamis Oriental, Malanang Integrated School launched Brigada Pagbasa, an alternative learning program where people donate old cell phones to the students in Opol, which they can use in learning how to read.
Say girl. Good job. Next, girl. Gloves. Very good.
Tawagan niya for 3 days, ipapaminaw ang bata. Pagpaminaw din sa bata, Ika-4th day niya is tagaana dayon siya sa iyang self-activity or self-learning dito sa balay. And then ika-5th day, mo na dayon naana din siya revalidation sa iyang learning ang naibawan sa pagpabasa.
Using the internet via video call, they teach students how to read. In this time of crisis, these educators have proven that they are adjusting to the challenges posed by the quarantine to be able to continue teaching their students. I am John D. Esteban for GMA Regional TV.
This week alone, there were 2 cases of food poisoning reported in Aguilar, Pangasinan. Russell Simorio of GMA Regional TV Balitang Amyanan will give us more details live. Russell.
Kate, this week alone, there were 2 cases of food poisoning recorded in Aguilar, Pangasinan. Christine and her family ate salted eggs that she bought from their neighbor. After eating their breakfast, they all experienced symptoms of food poisoning.
Nagpalipas sila ng mga, siguro ma'am, 1 oras ata. Yun na, suka. Pagsusuka sila, kasabay na yung ma'am.
The vendor of the salted eggs who declined to be interviewed denied that the family's food poisoning was because of the salted eggs. The Pangasinan Provincial Health Office conducted an investigation and found out that the poisoning was caused by salmonella that might have contaminated the salted eggs.
Yung masangsang na amoy na po yung itlog ay wag na po natin na ituloy. Minsan po kasi hinahalo natin ito po sa kamatis, no? Which yung tomato po, madali po siyang magpapan.
Meanwhile, another family in Aguilar was brought to the hospital after eating mushrooms.
Minsan manuta, hindi mo katuman. Natanag mo nila, sisi mo blay, may anak. Ni manuta, tinawagan niya.
The family recovered after 3 days in the hospital.
Iingat po tayo kasi talaga sa mga mushroom, no, na atin pong kinakain kasi karamihan po ito ay meron po tayong napapansin na epekto niya po sa pangangatawan na magkukos po ng pagkahilo, yung numbness ng mga individual na kakain po nito.
To prevent food poisoning, health authorities remind people to be more cautious in the selection and preparation of the food they eat. Kate, today there are 8 cases of food poisoning reported by the Pangasinan Provincial Health Office. Based on records, no food poisoning were recorded from the same period last year. Kate.
Thank you, Russell Simorio of GMA Regional TV, Balitang Amyanan.
More than 3,000 eaters at far-flung areas of Porac and Florida Blanca, Pampanga received food assistance. With the help of the provincial government, each family received rice, noodles, and canned goods. Residents from Barangay Nabuklod and Mawakat in Florida Blanca and families from 6 barangays in Porac were some of the beneficiaries of the relief operation. The ETA community is grateful that some are willing to help and reach out to them, even in this time of pandemic. Davao City remains under Modified General Community Quarantine or MGCQ, while 4 other areas in Mindanao, including Zamboanga City, are once again placed under General Community Quarantine. These and more from Argil Relator of GMA Regional TV 1 Mindanao Live. Argil?
Said business owners in Davao City are pleased with the city's quarantine status as COVID-19 cases in different areas in Mindanao continue to rise. Naawan in Misamis Oriental reported its first COVID-19 case, the town's Vice Mayor, Jaime Roa. Salon owner Edward Ambo is relieved that Davao City remains under Modified General Community Quarantine. He said that his salon is slowly recovering now that he can accommodate more clients.
Which is pasalamat gihapon mi kay tungod magpadayon ang among trabaho kay lisod biya kaayo kung wala yung trabaho mutunsa na lang pud mi.
The IATF recently extended the Modified General Community Quarantine in Davao City until July 31, 2020 with medium risk classification. However, Barangays 23-C, Agdao Proper and Leon Garcia in Davao City are still classified very high-risk areas as the number of COVID-19 positive cases in these barangays are increasing. 11 other barangays are classified as high-risk areas. Meanwhile, the IATF also announced that Agusan del Norte, Basilan, Zamboanga City, and Butuan City are now under the general community quarantine due to the increasing number of confirmed COVID-19 cases, mostly locally stranded individuals and returning OFWs. Other areas in Mindanao are also under MGCQ, such as Zamboanga del Sur, Zamboanga Sibugay, Zamboanga del Norte in Region 9, Misamis Occidental, Bukidnon, Lanao del Norte, Cagayan de Oro City, and Iligan City in Region 10, Davao Oriental, Davao del Norte, Davao del Sur, Davao de Oro, and Davao City in Region 11, Sultan Kudarat, Cotabato, South Cotabato, and General Santos City in Soc-Sargen, and Agusan del Sur, Dinagat Islands, Surigao del Norte, Surigao del Sur in Caraga, and Lanao del Sur and Maguindanao in BARMM. Meanwhile, Vice Mayor Jaime Roa of Naawan, Misamis Oriental is the town's first COVID-19 positive case. The Naawan Municipal Health Office said the 82-year-old acting Mayor Roa tested positive for COVID-19. Although he is asymptomatic, he was confined in a hospital in Cagayan de Oro City considering his age and because he is a diabetic.
Actually, wala man gid kay siya gibati pero na kuan lang mi kay medyo senior na manggod siya.
Consequently, Naawan Municipal Hall was closed for disinfection and contact tracing was immediately conducted. Just yesterday, the Municipal Health Office confirmed that 2 of the vice mayor's close contacts tested positive for COVID-19 and are now in an isolation facility. In BARMM, 79 LSIs from Manila tested positive for COVID-19. They are among the 405 LSIs from Manila who were stranded in Cagayan de Oro City. They were fetched by the Bangsamoro government and transported via bus to Sultan Kudarat town in Maguindanao province for COVID-19 testing. Meanwhile, some government agencies in Zamboanga City, including its city hall, were closed for disinfection after some government employees tested positive for COVID-19. They will resume operation on Monday. Said starting on Monday, the Civil Aviation Authority of the Philippines, Davao, will require all arriving passengers to Davao City International Airport to present a negative RT-PCR test result upon arrival. This is to ensure the city's healthcare situation is at a manageable level, said.
Thank you, our Jill Relator of GMA Regional TV 1 Mindanao. PNP chief sacks more than 4,000 policemen all over the country for being involved in anomalies and crimes. Rain Palino of GMA Regional TV Bicol has the details live. Rain?
Said in a Coban visit by the PNP Chief General Archie Gamboa, he disclosed that he dismissed 4,000 cops due to different violations. In a press conference in Legazpi City, Albay on July 14, General Gamboa said that the involvement of PNP personnel in various crimes is a continuing challenge. Under his leadership, he already dismissed 4,000 policemen. Some were involved in illegal drugs and crime, some have gone AWOL.
When I was officer in charge, I was dismissing 6 policemen per day. That was the rate of how we dismissed policemen before. Now we're averaging dismissing 4 policemen per day. I found out na napakaraming backlog cases.
He admitted that something has to be done to limit the involvement of policemen in anomalies and crimes. Last July 12, agents of the Philippine National Police Integrity Monitoring and Enforcement Group or PNP-IMEG arrested 2 maritime policemen in Masbate City in an entrapment operation for robbery and extortion. 2 other suspects are still at large. The suspects are 3 maritime policemen and the PNP Maritime Police Chief. General Gamboa warned the 209,000 members of the police force.
Is set by example. When you say no take tayo sa illegal gambling, ikaw mismo, Chief PNP, dapat hindi ka rin tumatanggap.
Meanwhile, the PNP has recorded more than 200,000 IATF violations since March 2020.
Actually, ang violations, kung titingnan nyo, when we started at an average of 8,000 violations per day, now we're down to almost 600 today.
Said according to General Gamboa, internal cleansing program of the PNP continues. Meanwhile, he reminds public to strictly comply with IATF protocols because the community quarantine is still in effect. Said,
Thank you, Rain Palino of GMA Regional TV, Bicol.
The IATF has announced that provinces and cities in Western Visayas will remain under medium-risk modified general community quarantine until July 31. Adrian Prietos of GMA Regional TV 1 Western Visayas with the report live. Adrian.
Yes, Caitlin, Governor Arturo Defensor Jr. of Iloilo Province, together with local chief executives in Western Visayas, welcomed the extension of quarantine status in the region as COVID-19 cases continue to rise. President Rodrigo Duterte this Wednesday approved the new quarantine classifications that will be in effect until July 31. Provinces in Western Visayas, as well as Bacolod and Iloilo City, will remain under medium-risk MGCQ. According to the regional IATF, in a medium-risk area, the LGU will take the lead in imposing stringent measures needed to combat the dreaded COVID-19 pandemic.
Pero ang atong mga local government units, pwede sila makatake measures kay lockdown ng certain portions sa within sa ilang territorial jurisdiction.
Iloilo Governor Arturo Defensor Jr. assured the public that LGUs can ably handle the situation during the extension of MGCQ in Western Visayas.
That is why we passed this executive order which is ad interim, not in the meantime nga halimbawa wala kapagwaan na isang classification ng national government kag wala pa kita sang EO, that executive order 128 will still be effective. But, of course, it can be changed if we pass an executive order.
On the other hand, the RITF is confident of the readiness of LGUs to cater to the needs of locally stranded individuals with the lifting of the moratorium on the return of LSIs.
During the period naging suspend ini, again pa-increase ang kapasidad sa aton ng mga facilities sa local government units.
The Bacolod City LGU is glad that their appeal to the national IATF for the retention of the city's MGCQ status was granted.
For me, now is the time for us to pump prime our economy. Damo na nag-suffer, damo na-terminate, damo businesses na nag-close.
The appeal was supported by the Bacolod City Police Office and the Metro Bacolod Chamber of Commerce and Industry.
Kung pwede, mag-cooperate lang kita. Kaya hindi pwede natin ipapabayaan. Kaya hindi lang virus ang kontra natin eh. Ang ekonomiya natin kinahanglan nga magkuhan. Kinahanglan nga maghulag. Kaya kung hindi kita mapatay sa virus, basig ba pwede mapatay kita sa gutom.
Why na sa local transmission? Kasi nga mo, if we're winning the war, so slowly dapat, we should restart also winning the war on the economic issues.
Yes, Caitlin, curfew hours in Bacolod City, Negros Occidental is now expected to be observed between 11 p.m. to 4 in the morning. Oplan Disiplina has also been established to run after irresponsible Bacolodnons who continue to violate guidelines in social distancing and the wearing of face masks, especially in public places. Back to you, Kate.
Thank you, Adrian Prietos of GMA Regional TV 1 Western Visayas.
This week marks the 30th anniversary of the devastating killer earthquake that hit North Central Luzon. Survivors recount that fateful day. King Guevara has the details.
71-year-old Lola Roberts still remembers the day when a 7.7 magnitude earthquake almost destroyed Dagupan City. It was on July 16, 1990. Lola Robert was on his way home when the ground suddenly shook, stopping him in his tracks. He was along Perez Boulevard then and was only a few meters away from the Pantal Bridge that collapsed because of the impact.
Tumukuba ako sa eskwelahan. Kinuha ko yung mga apo ko. Tatlo yung nandun yung nag-aaral Buti naman, Wala naman na disgrasya. Dito lang sa Pantal, parang parang bukal yung gumaganyan. Sira-sira yung mga daan.
Meanwhile, Lola Leonora and her family were about to go to the cinema when the earthquake happened. She was only 55 years old back then. Lola Leonora couldn't imagine what could have happened to them if they were trapped inside the cinema.
Kina mga alas 3, ay lumindol. O pagkatapos nung lumindol, ngayon, natatakot ako. Sabi na doon sa gin, marami nang namatay. Nakalapag na daw doon. Pagkatapos sinamugan, sabi sa mga anak ko, kung pumasok tayo kahapon, ngayon baka patay na tayo.
Isa ang gusaling ito sa mga labis na naapektuhan ng 1990 killer earthquake dito sa Dagupan City. Sa lakas nga ng pagyanig ng lindol, bumaba ang gusaling ito na ngayon ay abot kamay ko na. Baguio City was one of the areas devastated by 1990 earthquake, killing more than 8,000 people. The city was inaccessible because its three main gateways, the Cannon Road, Marcos Highway, and the Gillian Road, were damaged. 30 years later, Baguio City's artists collaborate to create a film about the 1990 killer earthquake to premiere next month. Looking back now, the event still gives chills to local residents who survived and a reminder that no one spared from nature's fury.
Ang kasagutan na lang dyan is instill natin yung kahandaan ng bawat isa sa isang calamity o isang disaster.
For GMA Regional TV, I am King Guevara, and this is my special report.
After the original plan of cutting down more than 300 trees in a protected area to pave the way for the construction of a new public cemetery drew controversy, the Cebu City government is now eyeing a new location. Alan Domingo of GMA Regional TV, Balitang Bisdak, has the details.
From the original site in Barangay Guba, the Cebu City government has identified a lot in Barangay Sapangdako as the site of the city's new public cemetery, abandoning its original plan of constructing the cemetery in Barangay Guba. The city was under fire last week after more than 300 mahogany trees were uprooted for the project. The Department of Environment and Natural Resources Region 7 issued a notice of violation to the Cebu City government for cutting down 389 trees. This was declared illegal because they were not able to secure a permit from DENR and because the location is located in a watershed area. The DENR office also ordered the Cebu City government to plant around 40,000 trees as replacement. The administrative adjudication is scheduled on July 27. Because of this, the city officials chose another area for the burial site. COVID-19 overseer in Cebu, DENR Secretary Roy Simado joined the Cebu City team in looking for suitable burial site. One sitio in Barangay Sapangdako was selected to house the new cemetery.
Hopefully, if it would pass through the environmental requirements, then hopefully it would serve. It's a 2-hectare lot, but it's expandable. It can be increased.
I'm Alan Domingo for GMA Regional TV.
An elderly woman who received praises online because of her dedication to live a decent life through collecting scrap materials has passed away. A story of love and devotion in this report.
It was in 2018 when we first met this elderly couple in a busy street in Bacolod City. They are Hermenegildo and Maria. Their story had gone viral many times on social media because of their determination to survive. They tirelessly roamed the streets together to collect scrap materials to trade for money in a local junk shop. Lolo Meldo is 80 years old, while Lola Maria is 84. They have been together for more than 5 decades.
Naplangga yaman ko nabuhi yaman ko.
Ano ka nga emotional ka nga?
Oo. Inantos mo naman so magsalamo kami sinikay, tibay kami sa ligan, while mga kami ginikanan. While mga utod.
Mabakod akong lawas, sige ako nga tulad siyang karito para nga kami makadawat bukas man. Kaya mabakod pa man akong lawas. Ay, ako man nagan lawas kung maayuan, sige yun ako pag-scrap.
Lolo Meldo will now be pushing their cart alone. Last week, Lola Maria succumbed to complications due to a stroke she suffered while scavenging the streets. Despite her death, Lolo Meldo trusts that Lola Maria will look after him even from beyond, looking down from the heavens.
Halin sa pagkasal namon, wa kagig may away. Wa kagig away, mga more than 50 years ko amo doon ay among gapon amon yung gali wa kagig away. Ako nahidlaw ko sa imo kay wala ka sa akong kilid. Imo ako na bulig-buligan ako sa dalan maglakat ko may akong may pangabudlay sa akong nga karito pagkato sa Milabo para makakita ako kwarta.
Lolo Meldo and Lola Maria's love story serves as a testament that indeed true love endures all. Together with cameraman Reynald Castillo, I'm Adrian Prietos, and this is my special report.
The owner of a power barge that exploded and spilled bunker oil along the coastal areas of Iloilo and Guimaras has already submitted its rehabilitation plan to the DENR. Evacuees housed in hotels were permitted to return to their homes following a risk assessment. Zen Kilantang has the details.
More than 300 families from Barangay Mansaya and Barrio Obrero Lapuz in Iloilo City was finally allowed to return home after an oil spill incident affected their community. Residents were evacuated last week because of health hazards posed by the oil spill. Iloilo City Mayor Jerry Trañas ordered the owners of the power barge AC Energy Philippines to provide adequate accommodation for the displaced families after living conditions in evacuation centers were found unacceptable.
Hindi naman nagamas lang kami. Kaya na amat-amat Manila pang ang mga korodos, lalong balay.
Kaya kung dito ka man Japon sa doon nagaluya ka ba lang, doon syempre aircon lang ka aircon.
The Iloilo City Incident Management Team, DNR Environmental Management Bureau Region 6 and AC Energy conducted a risk assessment of the affected areas in order to make sure that it is safe before families were allowed to return to their homes.
Test natin man ang air, and then kung makita ta nga daw medyo okay naman kag safe na, kag daw hindi na delikado sila. Ang wala lang pa matandog ta except lang sa mga mangroves nga area kay medyo hindi siya pwede tandugon as per information natin sa DNR.
Meanwhile, the DNR is currently reviewing the rehabilitation plan submitted by the energy firm in response to a notice of violation issued by the agency against the company.
Pinapa-review ko pa sa amon Environmental Monitoring Enforcement Division para malantaw kung proper bilang mga assessments estimated timelines nila.
Gabino Ramon Mejia, head of plant operations of AC Energy, revealed that they will be using the shoreline cleanup and assessment technique, an internationally recognized method used to survey and document the impact of spills on shorelines.
Well, hindi just clean up, but perform with quality. As I've said many times, bring it back to the state of where it was before or even better.
Based on the situation report of the Iloilo City Disaster Risk Reduction Management Office, more than 260,000 liters of bunker oil were already collected and stored in Power Barge 101 of AC Energy Corporation, while the 24 tons of contaminated oil debris was sent to Bulacan for proper disposal. Together with cameraman Romel Perquia, Zen Kilantang for GMA Regional TV.
The Philippine Institute of Volcanology and Seismology, or PHIVOLCS, lowered the alert status level of Mayon volcano from alert level 2 to alert level 1 or low level of unrest yesterday, July 17. Volcanologist Dr. Paul Alani said that volcanic activities of Mayon volcano declined for the past 6 months. Volcanic gas output also continues to decrease, with a recent flux last June 30 measuring 229 tons per day. As observed, there is still a lava dome, but it has not grown in recent months. Crater glow is also faint and only visible through telescope. Despite downgrading to a lower level of unrest, entering the 6-kilometer permanent danger zone is still prohibited.
A Pacific green sea turtle measuring 1.5 feet wide was accidentally caught in the fishing nets of fishermen off the coast of Barangay Malabor, Tibiao, Antique. The turtle is considered an endangered species. After documentation, it was immediately released back to the ocean. Last week, 5 adult turtles were also accidentally caught in fishing nets, but were released back to the sea. For residents, the sightings of these turtles signify that their natural environment is going back to normal.
While farmers in Negros Oriental are still reeling the effect of the COVID-19 pandemic, they're also faced with another challenge. Thousands of army worms are attacking hectares of cornfields in some towns of the province. Even newly sprouted corns are not spared from the attack. Affected farmers are afraid that their crops will go to waste. The Department of Agriculture has estimated that no less than 350 hectares of cornfields were attacked by the army worms. The pesticide used to kill this kind of worm is currently out of stock. Farmers are trying to arrest the army worm attack by spraying other insecticides.
In this time of crisis, we can get by with a little bit of kindness.
And that is what GMA Regional TV is doing as we go around the country spreading small acts of kindness. Sara Hilomen Velasco of GMA Regional TV 1 Mindanao tells us more.
The COVID-19 pandemic has taken a toll in Gina Madhosa's life, a resident of Barangay Matina Aplaya, Davao City. After her husband died over a year ago, she's left to raise their 8 children. What's more heartbreaking is that 3 of her children have heart conditions. Her only source of income is from doing laundry.
Unta, matabangan mi. Labi na sa akong anak nga naisakit sa kasing-kasing nga matagaan mi og kanang tambal nga masustentuhan siya.
In Barangay David Mangaldan, Pangasinan, Terry Villanueva sells smoked fish to support her family and to get by in these difficult times.
Umaasa lang po ako sa asawa ko po ate, tapos sumasideline din po ako, nagtitinda po ng tinapa para lang po makatulong sa pambili po ng pagkain, gatas ng anak ko.
64-year-old Maria Gemelende Catequista lives in the small and dilapidated house in Barangay Bigke, Leganes, Iloilo. The water breaches her house during high tide, and for support, it is tied to a tree to prevent it from completely falling down. Gemelende's hands always shakes, and she has a hard time standing up and walking. And in her condition, she cannot afford to seek medical help.
Oran way gitakot marasilod ko balay basa gid ako. Tiway si may gabulig sa akon way ko pamilya diri.
Gina, Terry, and Gemelende are just 3 of the hundreds of Kapuso who benefited from the Kapuso Barangayan on Wheels in Davao City, Pangasinan, and Iloilo. Anchors and correspondents of GMA Regional TV 1 Mindanao, Balitang Amyanan, and 1 Western Visayas joined hands in repacking relief goods and writing messages of hope in each pack to ease a little of the burden of our Kapuso in these trying times. Arriving at the venue, the Kapuso team made sure to follow health protocols. Wearing their personal protective equipment, they disinfected the area, checked each beneficiary's body temperature, and had them sanitize their hands. And as they distributed relief packs, social distancing was observed. The beneficiaries couldn't contain their happiness as they received their share.
Malaki pong tulong po sa amin ito at saka malaking bagay na po sa amin ito.
In celebration of GMA Network's 70th anniversary, the Kapuso Barangayan on Wheels is GMA Regional TV's way of giving serbisyong totoo in this time of pandemic. Living out our motto, buong puso para sa Pilipino. I am Sara Hilomen Velasco for GMA Regional TV.
Kapuso, at this point of time, let us be selfless in giving. Whatever blessings that we have received, always remember to share it to our neighbors.
Wherever you are in the country, we'll do our best to reach those in need. Together, we'll get through this crisis. Continue to watch updates in the region because local news matters.
You can watch this episode and more on GMA Regional TV's official YouTube channel. Just click the subscribe button to get the hottest news from the regions.
That was the biggest and the latest news from the regions. Thank you for joining us from around the Philippines as well as our kapuso abroad.
This has been GMA Regional TV Weekend News.
Where local news matters. Good evening, mga kapuso.